Recording progress. Okay, guys, good afternoon. Welcome to the review week. So today you're going to place the only time that you're going to place the topic at the beginning, review for final exam, and the date, October 11th, 2021. So remember, the topics that are coming on your exam are orders of operations. Remember that will include loss of exponents and the rules of signs. It will also include properties of numbers. Simplifying variable expressions that will include exercises like this, but also evaluating expressions, okay? Like when I give you a term and I tell you x is equal to this, then evaluate in this, and you're gonna evaluate in the expression that I give you, okay? And also equations, multi-step equations with variables on both sides, and transforming formulas. We're going to have those topics in our exam. Okay, so we have the first exercise. We're going to do 3 exercises today. 5 to the square plus 3 to the cube minus 4 to the square. And I would like to have Catherine helping me out solving this exercise. Catherine, you need to tell me exactly what to do, okay? Step by step. You tell me what should I write in there and what we're going to be doing, okay? So whenever you're ready. 5 to the square plus 3 to the cube minus 4 squared. What should I begin doing, Catherine?
You have to multiply the number with the exponents.
Solving the exponents, correct. So let's begin solving the exponents. 5 to the square is how much?
25.
25, correct. So let me see. 25 plus 3 to the cube.
9.
No, it's to the cube, not to the square. 3 to the cube. That's what it says, Elisa. 3 to the cube. Yes, Kevin. Remember, 3 to the cube is not 3 times 3. It is 3 multiplied 3 times. Okay, that's what the exponent says. You need to multiply the number as many times as the exponent says. So 3 times 3 times 3, how much is that?
27.
27. Minus 4 to the square, how much is 4 to the square?
16.
16, correct. And now what should I do? What's the next step?
You have to
Should I go right to left to right? It doesn't matter. What should I do?
You have to add some numbers.
Exactly. I add from left to right. So I'm going to add the 25 plus the 27. And that is how much? Yes, Elisa, that's it. Yes, Kevin, that's the final answer. How much is 25 plus 27?
52.
52, correct. So 52 minus 16, that will give me how much?
34.
No,
36.
36, correct. And that is the final answer. So if you got like an exercise like this that is true and false, and I say this expression is equal to 30, you place false and you just type the number 30, a 3 and a 0. I mean 36, a 3 and a 6. Okay, and that will be your answer for a true or false. If it's a multiple choice, then you pick from the options given the correct answer. Okay, and that's one of the exercises that probably is going to come in your exam. Okay, now next one, just to refresh your memory, I will be solving this one for you just to refresh your memory on what you are going to do. because one exercise like this also is coming on the exam. So we have 6x squared times y to the negative 8th power times w. Everything over 2 to the square x to the negative 6th power times z times y to the negative 6th power. Okay, so we have negative exponents. Remember I told you in math, we do not like to work with negative exponents. So what is the first step? This first step is to make those negative exponents positive. And how do we make those negative exponents positive? By passing it to the opposite side of the fraction. So this y to the negative 8 is negative, the exponent. I will pass it to this side, to the denominator, and make it positive. This x is negative. It will go to the numerator, positive. And this y to the negative 6 will also go positive, okay? And I will be writing in blue what I'm changing and in black what I'm not changing. So I'm not changing the 6. So I'm writing 6. I'm not changing the x squared. It remains in there because positive exponents remain where they are. So it remains in there. The w remains in there because it's positive. Now this x to the negative 6th power goes up to the numerator. So I'm going to place x to the 6th power. And that's it, right? No, I have another one that's going up. Y to the 6th power goes up to the numerator. So y to the 6th power, and you see how I change it to positive the exponents? Now over. I have here a 2 to the square. I can simplify that. 2 to the square is 4. And I have a z that's already there. And I said that I was going to write in blue the ones that I'm changing, right? And you didn't remember me. So I was changing this too. I'm going to write them in blue. Okay, so I'm going to write them in blue, and that is x to the 6th power and y to the 6th power. And I'm changing this y to the 8th power to the denominator. Now I changed already and made positive all of the 3 variables that had negative exponents. Now what should I do? I should go ahead and do additions of the exponents if my variables are in the same side of the fraction. If I have repeated variables at the top, then I'm gonna add them at the top, the exponents. If I have repeated variables at the bottom, I'm gonna add it at the bottom in the denominator. But if I have repeated variables in the numerator and in the denominator, opposite sides of the fraction, I'm going to subtract. So this one and this one are both x, and they're both in the same side. So I'm going to add them in there, okay? Now the 6 and the 4 can be simplified as well. They can be divided by the same number. By what same number can they be divided? They can be divided by 2, okay? Both of them can be divided by 2. So I'm also going to simplify that. So 6 divided by 2, that's 3. And 4 divided by 2, that's 2. Now I got this x at the same side. So I'm going to add the exponents. So x, 2 plus 6, that's 8. I don't have nothing else but one w, so I'm just going to copy that w in there. Now I have this y in opposite sides of the fraction, so I'm going to subtract the exponent. Where am I subtracting? Wherever my exponent is the greatest, okay? So I'm subtracting in the denominator. 8 minus 6, that's 2. And I have a z that I'm not touching, so I'm going to put the z over here. Now, is that my final answer? Yes. Now just remember that in math, we always write first the variables in alphabetical order. So I'm just going to make the change of the w first and the x after. And that is my final answer. How do I know that I've finished? Because no variable is repeated. Once that I have variables that are not repeated, only one w, only one x, only one y, only one z, then I'm done. Variables can also disappear. How do they disappear? Let's say that we had over here a z. So I have the same variable with exactly the same exponent. And remember, when I have exactly the same thing in the numerator and in the denominator, My answer is 1. So I don't need a 1 in there multiplying anything because anything times 1 will always be that other thing. So I just could cancel or eliminate or erase those variables, okay? So now that is my final answer. Numbers are also in their simplest form, and that's it. Now, question. If I had this in between a parenthesis and I had an exponent 0, what would be my answer? What would be my answer?
0.
1. 1. Why 1? Because anything to the 0 power will always be 1. But since we didn't have that exponent 0 in there, this is my final answer. Remember, same variables on the same side of the fraction, you add the exponents. Same variable in opposite sides of the fractions, you subtract the exponent wherever the exponent is greater. And that's it. Okay, next exercise, it's your turn to help me out and tell me step by step what I should do. So I got 2a to the negative 1, b to the 5th power, that's a 5, c to the cube, everything over 4a to the negative 6th power, that's a 6, b, c to the negative 1 power. And everything is being affected by a negative 2 on the outside, an exponent negative 2. The only thing that I'm going to help you right now so you can get refreshed the memory is that we don't like to work with that negative out there. So how do I change that? That would be the first step. If you have a negative exponent on the outside, you make it positive. How do you make it? By changing everything inside the parentheses. Just changing them, not changing the signs or the exponents or anything. Just move it as it is. So it means that you're going to have 4a to the negative 6th power, because this was in the denominator. So now it passes to the numerator. C to the negative 1. Everything over 2a to the negative 1. B to the 5th power. And c to the cube. And everything goes to the square. Okay? That's the first step. That's the first thing that you need to do. Get rid of the negative sign by reversing your fraction, but just keeping everything as it is, but in opposite sides. Okay? Now, let's see who's going to help me with this exercise. Let's see. Camila, help me out. What is the first step that I need to do in this exercise? Where's Camila? She got disconnected. There she is. Okay, let's see, Elisa. What is the first step that I need to do now? After doing this, making it positive, what should I do? Elisa?
Cambiar los negativos de lado.
What should I do? What should I do? You got the idea, right? That's one way, but you need to tell me in English. What should I do? Camila, before you got disconnected, I was asking you, what should I do in this to solve it? Elisa was saying the answer, but she was saying it in Spanish. So, Nene, what should I do there?
I think that multiply all the things.
Multiply to the power of the power, right? That's one step. That's one way of doing it as well. Or like Elisa was saying, and like Kevin is saying in the chat, by changing the signs to positive. That's another way. Either way will be correct. So for this one, I will be doing what Camila said. I'm going to do the power of a power and multiply the 2 outside by every single thing on the inside, both in the numerator and the denominator. That's one step, one way. The other way is simplifying everything on the inside by making the negatives positives, okay? That's another way. I'm gonna do it in blue. So I'm gonna have 4 to what power, Camila? 4 to the
2.
second power. 8 to the 8 to what power?
12, I think.
Negative 12. Remember, it is a negative in there. So negative 12. B to the
2.
to the second power because there's an invisible one over there. Very good. And C to the
-2.
-2. Correct. And everything is going to go on top of 2 to the
Second power.
second power. A to the
-2.
-2. B to the
10.
and C to what power?
6.
6 power. Very good, Camila. Okay, so now, next step is to make those negatives positives, right? So, Adrian, you're going to help me out, Adrian, to make this exponents positive. Which one should I change into which side, Adrian?
Miss, can you repeat?
Yes, let's make the exponents positive, the ones that are negative. Just tell me, this one goes up, this one goes down, and that's it.
No, Miss, no sé.
How do I make those exponents positive, Adrian?
By making the exponent positive or with the, yes, that.
How? How? I make them positive. How? What should I do? I don't want to help your friend. What should I do there, Adol, to make it positive? Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That one is negative, that is up, down, and
Okay, I move the ones that are negative in the numerator and move it to the denominator. So this two go to the denominator, and this one that's in the denominator goes to the numerator. Very good, Elia. I don't, sorry. So now we're going to simplify this, and I want Elena to help me out. Elena, so we have 4 to the square. How much is 4 to the square, Elena? How much is 4 to the square? Because we're running out of time, I'm going to help you out, but this is the only time. So it's 16. Over. How much is 2 to the square? 2 to the square? Because I'm simplifying the numbers. 4. Correct. Now, Adam was telling us to change it, so we're going to change that. So this 8 to the negative second power goes up, so I'm going to place it 8 to the second power. The b is already there. B squared is already positive, and nothing else goes up. Now, what goes down? 8 to the 12th power goes down. B to the 10th power remains in there. And C to the 6th power remains there, but also C to the square goes down. Now we're going to simplify this. 16 divided by 4, how much is that?
4.
4, exactly. Now we're going to simplify the variables. I have these variables in opposite sides of the fraction. where should I subtract? Remember that we said that we were going to subtract? So where do I subtract? In the numerator or in the denominator? Wherever the exponent is greater. So in the denominator. So this is going to be 8 to the 12 minus 2. So it is power 10. Now I got the b's. The b's are also in different sides of the fractions. So I'm also going to subtract wherever the exponent is greater. So is it numerator or denominator?
Denominator.
Denominator. And that will give me b to what power?
8.
8 power. Very good. And now I have the c's. They're in the same side. What do I do when I have variables on the same side? I'm going to add the exponent, correct? So this is going to be c to what power? 6 plus 2
8.
power. Can I simplify any further? No. Why not? Because I don't have no variable repeated, and the numbers cannot be simplified because I only have a 4. And that is a final answer. Do you have any question? No? Okay.